Question 19. The 25th term of an arithmetic sequence is 44.5, and we're also told that the sum of the first 30 terms of this series is 765, and the question is asking us for the 16th term of the sequence, of the series even. So we have different formula involved here. The first sentence is all about a term of the sequence, so our formula for nth term involves that. The second one involves the sum of the series, which means that we're going to be using the S of n formula, which are given in the formula sheet at the front of the exam, like so. And then, of course, after you've used those, we will later on be figuring out what the 16th term of the series is. So with the information that's given, the 25th term tells us that n is 25. We're told that that term itself of the series, is 44.5. So 44.5 goes here. I've just realized I put a plus sign there when it should be an equals. So the information in yellow, I can sub in for un and n like so. I don't know what a is and I don't know what d is. So I get 25 take away 1 with a d, which will give us a 24, giving us the following equation. When I take the information given to us in orange, the sum of the first 30 terms, that tells us that n is 30. So we're going to have n being 30 when I substitute that in. Let me just highlight this while we're at it. So n is 30, and the total of this, the sum of all this, is 765. So everywhere we see orange, we're subbing something in, which means we get a different looking equation, but we still have an unknown a and an unknown d. So that's what we get to begin with. Tidying that up a bit, 30 over 2 will give us 15. And the 30 minus 1 gives us a 29. So we end up with the following. I've got two options here. I can break out this bracket, or technically I could divide both sides by 15. Either are totally fine. I think more often than not, people are going to break out this bracket on the right. So although it's maybe not the most efficient way of doing it, that's the way I'm going to go with this, giving us the following there. Now, at any given point in time, if you had decided to divide by 15, or if at this point you notice that everything has something in common, you can technically divide everything by 5. So had you the following equation, you would have been able to get this exact same answer. I'm going to proceed on the proviso that we have this one and this one, but had you used this, you should get the same answers for E, A, and D, and being able to finish answering our question. So our two formula, we have our 765 equals, and we have our 44.5 equals. I'm just going to set them one above each other. Because of the fact that they're both linear, we can solve these by elimination. You can use substitution if you want. There's nothing wrong with that, but because I can see they're both linear and because they're set up quite nicely with the A's and D's on the right and the number on the left, I'm going to proceed this way. 30 A's here, but only one A there, meaning that I want to multiply this equation by 30 in order to get 30A. If I do 24 times 30, I'm going to end up with 720D. And if I do 44.5 times 30, I'm going to end up with 1,335. So that gives us our new equation for that. Our top equation hasn't changed. And then from there, I'm going to subtract these equations from each other in order to cancel out the A's. Now, because of the fact that there are more D's on the bottom compared to this top one, I'm going to do bottom take away top. So we will have 1,335 take away 765 on the left, giving me 570. On the right hand side, I'm going to do 720 take away 435, which will give us 285. And then if I divide those both sides by 285, I get D as 2. With D being 2, I can then figure out what A is. If we just go back to this equation here and substitute D as 2 in, we're going to 44.5 equals A plus 24 times 2 is 48. After which I take away 48 from both sides, giving us A as minus 3.5. We know what A is, we know what D is. This question then asks us to find the 16th term of the series. So we've got our UN formula again. We know what N is, it's 16. We know what A is, it's minus 3.5. And we know what D is, it's 2. So we're going to sub in all of these values to find the 16th term. So it's minus 3.5 plus 16 take away 1 times 2, which is going to give us a final answer of 26.5. Done.